Welcome to the channel. I started this off thinking I would be talking to new homeschoolers. However, when I started making my notes, I realized that this is for all of us. We're going to talk about things to consider before and during your homeschool journey. Stick around. Welcome to the channel. My name is Morgan here at The Life of Tillmans. If this is your first time, welcome. I'm happy to have you. I hope that you find everything that you need, love, and enjoy here at the channel. While you're here, go ahead, click that subscribe button, click that notification bell so that you do not miss any of the videos here on the channel. If you've been with me before, welcome back, family. I greatly appreciate you. I was sitting back thinking that I was going to start this video off and talk to you, the new homeschooler. However, when I started writing my notes for what I was wanting to say and express, I realized that these are things that I still do as a homeschooler. It's so important that we consider some things before we start homeschooling and during our homeschool because seasons change. Not everything stays the same all the time. And we have to learn how to adjust and do everything else in between. We're going to talk about what to consider when homeschooling. I took some notes because I did not want to forget. I don't know if it's just me, but I seem to get all of my thoughts, the best ones, in the shower when I can't write anything down or record anything with my phone. I don't know. So I find myself like hurrying. I do get clean though. Okay, so I took a few notes. So if you see me look down, that's what I'm doing. Things to consider when homeschooling. Number one, which was on my list, is your readiness and honest abilities, your capabilities for homeschooling. We have to be honest with ourselves. I sometimes tend to bite off more than I can chew, and I've recognized that about myself. So I have to be honest and say, look, Morgan, you cannot take on anything else. You have to say no. You have to do whatever it may take. So if you are starting this homeschool journey, many people are taking notes and doing all the things that they need in order to get started in August or in the fall. And so one of the things that I would start with, and what I did start with, was being honest with myself about my abilities, my capabilities, our lives, and how we are going to manage inserting homeschool into our lives. It was not a question of, for me, whether or not we could. Once we had made up our mind, it was like, okay, how are we making this work? Because it's happening. Like, we're doing it no matter what. So we just got to figure it out, right? So that is what I started out with doing because that's what I needed. We needed to know what we were capable of doing and understanding that so that we did not bite off more than we could chew. An example of that, or a story, is that I had a friend who was considering homeschooling her children. Her children were in public school currently. Her oldest was maybe 5th grade or 6th grade, I believe. And instead of her snatching all of her children out to homeschool all 3 of them, which is what she desired, she had to be realistic with the capabilities. She had to consider her children in that they're going from a public school environment to homeschool. That's a huge adjustment. They're going from being taught by someone else by her doing all of their teaching. That is a huge adjustment. What did she do? Stair-stepped. She took her oldest child out first, brought him home for 6 months. Then she took her second child out, brought her home for 6 months. And then she took out the last child and brought her home. And they are now homeschooling. Was it what she wanted? No. Was it the perfect situation? No, but it worked for them. So be honest with your capabilities and what you can do and how it will fit into your life. It's important as current homeschoolers, we also have to be honest with our capabilities because seasons change. What we were capable of doing 6 months, a year ago, 2 years ago, we may not be capable of doing now. We may have to outsource. There may be subjects that you're not able to teach your child anymore, that they're getting older and it's beyond what you feel comfortable with working with them on. You may have to go to OutSchool, which is where your child will learn a certain subject online. And that's okay. And you support them in doing the work that they are supposed to do after they get off from OutSchool. So that is for current homeschoolers. This, as I said, applies to everyone. Number 2 to consider is once you've made the decision, we're doing this, we're going to make it work, here's how we're going to do it. Go and check out your state's homeschool laws, requirements, whatever they may be. Usually you can go to the state's school education website and you can find all of the homeschool requirements, what you may need to do if your child is currently in public school and how to pull them out of school. And letters of intent to homeschool. There are so many different laws and each state has their own laws. Where we live here, we don't have any. We pretty much have 0 homeschool laws. They're like, you want to homeschool your children? Go for it. And I'm like, yes, let's do this. And so consider those things because it makes a difference in how you move about in your homeschool somewhat. If you have state requirements and they require you to test or they require your child to go over certain things or you have to show proof of what they're working on, all of those different things need to be considered as you move forward with your homeschool journey. When we're talking about homeschool laws, which was number 2, or requirements, even if you looked at requirements 4 years ago, laws are always changing. New legislation comes out all the time about education. It is important for us to go back and check. I would say yearly, every single year, if not every 6 months, go back and check to see if anything has changed for your state for what is required for you to homeschool your children. Because you would hate to look at that 4 years later, something changed 2 years after you started, and now you have to try to scramble and figure out how you can meet those requirements without any type of penalty for you and your child. That applies to all of us. Not just the new homeschooler, but the current homeschoolers. So number 1, be honest with your capabilities, reassess and look at those things. Number 2, make sure that you go to your state's requirements and look at what is required for you to homeschool. Number 3, I'm going to go back to it. Assess your capabilities. Once you've seen what the state requires, you may say, okay, now I'm not capable of this, or I am even more capable than I thought in step 1. See how we go back and forth and back and forth. We have to continually assess. And I'm always saying assessing and really thinking about where you are in life in your journey so that you know where you're going. It's important to do that always. So number 3, go back again. Be honest with your capabilities, assess where you are, and know what it is that you are able to do with and for your child. A part of that is considering your child, which is number 4. Always consider your child. That is a big part of this homeschool journey, is our child. If they're old enough to tell you their desires, they may not want to homeschool. However, as the parents, we make the best decisions possible for our children. So we have to help guide them in that direction. Not force, not be angry with them. Understand that they have feelings. They may be resentful if they're older children, whatever the case may be. And know that it is a family affair. Everyone is involved, all hands on deck for sure. And that helps make that process a lot more smooth. If you're dealing with younger children and they have never went to public school or private school and they only went for a year or so, they have less of an attachment to the life that they had before, to the schooling type that they had before. Sometimes it can be an easier transition, but considering your child throughout the process is major. You don't want to make a decision that you think is best for your child and then it turns out to not be best for them because we didn't consider all the factors. For current homeschoolers, we always have to assess. I did it just recently with our girls, assessing where they are with the subjects and what their learning styles are. Those learning styles are going to change as they get older. It's going to change. They may not learn the same way. They may not like the same things. And if we're not reassessing where we are, then we're going to miss something that could be a crucial part of our child's learning and helping them to be able to continue to succeed and be great in this homeschool environment and beyond. The very last thing that I want to share with you, which I'll call it number 5, but I do workouts every day and I do them online. And there's one instructor that she always says to us anytime we're doing a workout: no ego, amigo. Okay? So what she means when she says that is, if something gets too challenging, if you're starting to feel aches and pains, or you just can't do it, stop, scale back, reassess, make modifications. I can apply this to my homeschool life. I do apply this to my homeschool life. We have to make modifications. We have to reassess, and we have to take our egos out of the equation. We have to know what we're capable of doing, how we're going to achieve it, set a clear plan, and go for it. However, sometimes there are times when things get overwhelming, when we're not able to handle that. And those are the times that we have to reach out, put our egos aside, and say, I need help. Outsource. Wherever you may need that help, there is always someone out there who is willing and able to help. We have to go and find those people. I hope this video was encouraging for new homeschoolers and current homeschoolers, because like I said, when I started writing things down, I was like, this applies to me. Like, I do these things. I need to do these things. I will continue to need to do these things. So I hope it was helpful. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like, and comment below. How do you go about your homeschool season if you are a current homeschooler? What are some things that you do to help make the journey continue to run smoothly? I want to know. Share it with our new homeschoolers, and let's be a wealth of help for this community. Don't forget to subscribe. Click on that notification bell, and I will see you right back here at the Life of Tillmans for another video next time. Bye.